Thursday, December 7th. We got Thursday night football between the Steelers and the Patriots. And we only have two NBA games, two semis for the end season tournament. Whoever wins goes to the championship game. One of those games is about to start between the Pacers and the Bucks. But the picks that I have are for the later game between the Lakers and the Pelicans. So let's get started. I only have three picks for the afternoon game. I do have the picks for this early game, which I already had placed, with Giannis and Tyrese going over on fantasy, Dame going over in fantasy. I think that's going to be a high-scoring game. But these picks will be focused on the afternoon game. First one will be LeBron James, and I'll be taking his fantasy score at 50.5. I'll be taking the over. Next up for fantasy, I'm going to take is CJ McCollum, and I'll be taking his fantasy as well. He's been cashing the past 6 straight for fantasy. I'll be taking the over on that at 34. He has a ceiling of 45, so I'll be taking the over on that. Next up for fantasy, I'll be taking is Herbert Jones at 25.5. I think he's going to go well over 30. His points is a good second option, and his rebounds will probably be a third option. But I'm going to go with this fantasy score. Other plays you want to look at is Jonas Valanciunas. He's been cashing for us. The only reason I'm not taking him, his fantasy score is way too high. The only thing I like from him is his point at 13.5. But I have him projected about 14-15 points a game. So it's a little bit too close to my liking. He's usually been at 12.5. It has been bumped a full point. But as you can see, his points will be a great option. You want to take a fourth leg. His fantasy score, I'm not going to go on it. I mean, all he does is points and rebounds. He doesn't have really assists or steals. Blocks, I think he averages about 1 a game. But his fantasy score, he hasn't been hitting. And he does have a high turnover rate. So his points will probably be a fourth good option. I'll be taking that. But those are the only 4 that I like for NBA. But this is only for the one game in the afternoon. The other one's about to start. So let's head on over to NFL. Where this game is not much of a game between the Patriots and Steelers. I mean, when do you ever see 163 passing yards for a QB? I mean, Bailey's safe. I mean, you can take a chance on him at 163. That's probably the lowest I've ever seen for a quarterback. But the Patriots have been having a dreadful season. Money line, obviously, I'm thinking the Steelers are going to win this game. But I don't think it's going to be high scoring either. So which brings me to the kickers, where I'm going to be going for either fantasy points or kicking points. And we're going to go straight to kicking points. And my first one will be Chad Ryland. 4.5. I don't think I've ever seen it this low for a kicker. If the Patriots do score, I think it's going to be mostly on field goals. So I'll be taking Chad Ryland as my first leg. Chris Boswell will be my second leg. His secondary option will be his fantasy score, which I like. I believe it's at 7.5. He's been cashing for the past 4 or 5. If you want to look at his past 5. So his fantasy score is a good option. My third leg for this slip would be a fantasy score, and I'm actually going to be taking Pittsburgh Steelers, Mitchell Trubisky. I think he's going to have a decent game. I think he's going to have about 200 yards, maybe a touchdown or 2, which should cash his 12 fantasy score. He's been trending up, so hopefully he does go over. It's a low line, so I'm going to take it, given the dreadful game he is going against the Patriots. So I think Mitchell Trubisky is going to go over. Next one is Jaylen Warren. He's been trending up as well. Either him or Najee Harris are going to have big games. I'm going to go with Jaylen Warren going over. You can also look at his rushing yards. And my last one will be Hunter, will be a receptions. And I'm going to go with Hunter Henry, New England Titan at 2.5. I think he's going to have about 4 or 5 receptions in this game. New England's quarterback is not known for deep passes. So I think Hunter Henry is going to be in play here at 2.5. Not really good game. I'm not really fond of this game. The lines are too close or at right where they're supposed to be. Like these can be pushes right here with George Pickens and Pat and Kyle Pitts. So I'm going to go with these 5. Chad Ryland, Chris Boswell over kicking points. Mitchell Trubisky over fantasy. Jaylen Warren over fantasy. And Hunter Henry over receptions. So mix and match between NBA and NFL. It's a good day to bet lightly today. Not much going on. And save it for tomorrow, which will be Flex Friday for Prize Picks. Please like, subscribe, and comment. I appreciate the support. And I'll see you guys in the next one.